Hey everybody, it's Brian. I just wanted to give you a quick overview of SPSS. SPSS is a stats package that we'll be using this semester. It's a very popular stats software and it had a whole lot of features. So I wanted to just give you an overview of the basics. I've already launched SPSS here on my computer and I get this welcome screen, which is not really that helpful. So you can choose don't show this dialog in the future and you can just close it. And then basically, when you first open SPSS, you're going to have a screen that looks like this, just blank data. This would enable you to start typing in your own data if you wanted to, but in order to move things along, I've already created a data file that we can use. So go to Open, File, Open Data. And then here on my desktop is this movies SPSS file. All SPSS data files have a .save extension. So I'll open that up. And this shows you a basic data file. And we have several different columns representing different variables. We have 8 variables total. And then each row represents the data collected from one person. And so the way that SPSS is structured is that each row represents a single independent data collection. In social sciences, that's usually going to be a person. So that would mean that person number 1 here represents row 1, and they have several different things that they've responded to, and it has their responses. And then a different person, person number 2, is in the second row, and so on like that, so that each row represents a person. If we were doing data collection in another field like environmental science or something, we might have different weather recordings represented by, so here's today's weather and humidity and barometric pressure in one row, and then tomorrow's would be the next row, and so on like that. So each row is sort of one set of independent data that is collected. And then each column represents one of the things that we're interested in. So you can see from the headers here, I have the subject ID as one column, the age group, Disney fan, YN. These are the different variables that I've collected data on. And so we start off here in the data view. In order to learn more about what these variables are, we can switch tabs over here to the variable view. And when we do that, it sort of flips. Now each variable is represented by a row instead of as a column header. And I can get some more information about exactly what these variables are. So each variable has to have a name, and that's the first column here in the variable view. And then I'm going to jump over, and the label is the next really important thing. And this is something that if you're importing data from somewhere else, like from an online survey form or something like that, these may already be filled in. You can type it yourself. So for example, this Disney fan YN variable, it's saying, do you consider yourself a Disney fan? So it's a little bit more information about what question was asked that people are responding to. And then Lion King rating of the Lion King from 1 to 10. Do you buy snacks at the movies is another item that people responded to. So the label is maybe a more intuitive or more detailed way to represent exactly what kind of information is being stored in this variable. And then another super important thing here in the variable view is this variable values. And this is a way that we can figure out exactly what do the numbers mean in the data. So if we switch back to the data view, we see that age group is stored as a 1, 3, 2, 3. It looks like we have 3 different options, well, either a 1, 2, or 3, but we have no way of knowing exactly what those values represent. Similarly, with Disney fan YN, we have a bunch of 1s and 0s, and it's not clear exactly what those represent. And so switching back to the variable view, here in the values, we can click on the field for that row, and then click on this little 3-dot button to get more information. So in this age group variable, a 1 represents that it's a kid, 2 represents that it's a teen, and 3 is for grown-ups. And then similarly, the Disney fan, we have if you consider yourself a Disney fan, you're coded as a 1, and if not, you're coded as a 0. This rating scale, rating the Lion King 1 to 10, quick glance back at the data view seems, yeah, we have a bunch of single-digit ratings here. And here in the values, we don't have text for all of those data points, but we see that 1 is a low score that you hated it, and 10 is a high score that you loved it. And so the values here are intended to give you a little bit more context about what these numerical codes in the data view represent for those given variables. So that's sort of the basics of an SPSS data file. And I'll leave it there, and we'll talk about how to do more analyses in future videos. Thank you very much.